There was a beastly 50-minute live stream for Genshin Impact's 1.2 update, so I'll be trying to condense down all the information that was given to us. This time the English stream was hosted by the voice actors for Paimon and the Male Traveler, plus it has a lot of footage, so I recommend putting it on in the background while you do your daily farming. This update will be releasing on December 23rd, so a little early Christmas gift if you're ready for more content. First off, we got news about the next two 5-star characters. They didn't showcase any other characters, so I'm not sure if there will be new 4-star characters or if they just didn't want to reveal any information just yet. First off, we have Albedo, who is kind of the star of the show for this update. He's the chief alchemist for the Knights of Favonius, and I believe Sucrose is his assistant. Albedo will play a major role in the upcoming event, similar to how we had more screen time for Mona and Fischl for the Unreconciled Stars event. He'll be a Geo Sword character, and he has some interesting skills that for sure require more testing. For his elemental skill, Albedo will place down a solar isotoma flower on the ground, and it marks a big area on the field. Attacking enemies within that area will make the isotoma bloom and deal AoE geo damage to those enemies. Just from the limited look at the skill, it doesn't seem like it'll be a big damaging ability, but you never know. I feel like since it stays on the field, it will allow you to proc geo damage with other characters. However, Geo's only elemental reaction is Crystallize, and as Zhongli's introduction to the game has shown, it doesn't really seem super impactful unless you're able to make the right elemental shields to absorb more damage to said elements. I would assume the damage will be higher than Zhongli's pillars that pulse out, but that's because Zhongli can also make a shield with his skill. Now, Albedo's skill can also be stood on, and it will lift a character up in the air. This seems like an easier way to get some height than climbing the Geo Traveler's boulders or Zhongli's pillars, but it also is not going to block anything for you. Not sure how useful this will be, but you can do some plunging attacks off of it, or you can camp above units who can't get to you. For Albedo's elemental burst, it seems to be a simple geo damage attack, but if the solar isotoma is on the field, it generates more damage. I don't think we got to see this in action. It sounds like a similar mechanic to Ningguang's burst, which can do more damage by collapsing her jade wall. Overall, very uncertain about how Albedo is going to play. Just at a glance, I have to assume he's going to be more damage oriented than Zhongli, since he doesn't seem to have any support abilities outside of crystallized shields. Guess we'll have to wait and see how he performs. Our second new character is Ganyu, who we met in the Liwei storyline. She's going to be a cryo archer, but unlike Diona, who is more support oriented, I think Ganyu's probably going to be more on the offensive. We got some interesting notes on her playstyle. Ganyu's charge shots actually have a different level of charge for how long you hold it, and you can see that when another circle pops up while she keeps aiming. From what I saw, it looks like this second level of charge actually created an AoE shower of crowd damage when it hit an enemy, so that's pretty neat. With her special charge shots, I would assume Ganyu will probably focus on trying to always land those big crits by hitting weak spots, so she may require a more sharpshooter playstyle versus spamming auto attacks. This is kind of reinforced by her elemental skill, which leaves a flower on the ground and it attracts enemies toward it before exploding. With a decoy to take some pressure off her and a focus on charge shots, Ganyu definitely looks like a crowd version of Amber. Personally, I haven't really played around too much with a charge shot focused bow build, but it is something I wanted to give a try eventually. Obviously, the only issue with charge shots is that if you miss them, then that's not great at all. Against enemies that you can always hit their weak spots, it lets you get free crits, but you have to do a lot more work aiming your shot rather than just hitting the basic attack button. Now, for Ganyu's burst, she summons a shower of icicles down in an area. This basically looks like the annoying icicle attack the crown mages can do, but there are some questions about how her burst works we need to know more about. Does it fully track enemies where every icicle hits some target, or is the ice shard rain random? Maybe this burst does huge damage, but it did seem to create a lot of icicles quickly. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Overall, Ganyu seems to be a more traditional archer with traps to aggro enemies and an AoE burst. If her charge shot has more to it than just an AoE crowd shower, then perhaps there are more things to consider. She does look fun though and is very stylish. Now, both Albedo and Ganyu will have their own story quests. Albedo is pretty heavily tied to the new event in the new area, so he's the first one coming out. Ganyu's story will be out next year in 2021, so that seems to confirm that she'll be after Albedo. Okay, next we got information about the new playable area, Dragonspine. This is the big snowy mountain to the south of Mondstadt, and it certainly looks like a bigger area than what I thought at first. Dragonspine should almost certainly have its own unique weapons to forge for, and there's going to be more chests to loot and more challenges to attempt while exploring. I really do love exploring the open world in Genshin Impact, so a brand new area is a great addition. Like with how Liwei has slightly different enemies than Mondstadt, Dragonspine will have new enemy variations as well, and obviously they're going to be cryo based. we saw a icy looking Hilichurl and a cryo assistant mage. They also showcased a new big type of ruin guard who looks pretty cool. While I look forward to more enemies to fight, as someone who uses Chongyun as my DPS often, it looks like I'm gonna have to be using some new characters while exploring this region. Speaking of which, Genshin Impact is adding a new environmental hazard for our new snowy area. Instead of worrying about lighting the entire grass-filled map on fire, we're gonna have to stay warm to avoid freezing to death. Sheer cold is a new mechanic in the Dragonspine area that will accumulate while you're out and about. Stay in the cold for too long and you'll lose HP. Certain actions and environments will also increase the rate at which sheer cold accumulates. This is certainly something that will help immerse you in the brutal climate of the mountain, but I'm sure some players are going to be annoyed by it. There are ways to stave off the cold, like finding warm fire pits, but I do wonder if you can just use a pyro character's skills. Hopefully it's not too much of an inconvenience. Next, we got some info on things to do while in Dragonspire. For one, the Frostbearing tree will be something you can level up by turning in Crimson Agate, which can be found in the wild. To me, this seems sort of like a reputation / animalculous type system for Dragonspine that rewards you for exploring the region. At level 4, you can get the warming bottle item, which can help prevent sheer cold. At level 10, you can actually get the blueprint for a 4-star catalyst, the Frostbearer. We're actually getting new forgeable weapons in update 1.2, so that's exciting. Another forgeable weapon will be the Dragonspine Spear, and you can make this one by finding dragon teeth in the region. There will also be a forgeable 4-star claymore, the Snow-Tomed Star Silver. This one will be gotten by exploring the Entombed City in Dragonspine and completing related quests. Next, we have our big event for the update, the Chalk Prince and the Dragon. This event is going to focus on Albedo, who has given the Traveler a cursed sword and ties into the new Dragonspine area. It looks like it's going to be similar to the last big event with Mona and Fischl, so we'll get to know Albedo more, and his story quest actually acts as a lead into this event, so that's pretty neat. They did showcase some more screenshots of the story, but the most interesting part was the shot and conversation between Barbara and a new character, Rosaria. She seems to be a part of the church like Barbara and will probably be a playable character at some point, but this will be our first introduction to her. Last major thing about this event is that the cursed Festering Desire sword will actually be given to us, and we can upgrade it via materials in the event shop. The Chalk Prince and the Dragon event will have multiple acts that probably unlock over time, just like Unreconciled Stars, so expect a good amount of content. As you can see, we'll need to collect essence to get our rewards, so I expect there's going to be different types of activities to do. I'm guessing at least one of those will be co-op based. For rewards, I'm sure there's going to be lots of good things to grab, like XP books, and of course, do pick up the crown item because you're going to need that for level 10 talent upgrades, and they only seem to be gotten from events. I enjoyed the balance of story with gameplay with Unreconciled Stars, so more of that will be welcome. As a review, we're getting 4 new 4-star weapons. The Festering Desire sword comes from the event, while the Catalyst, Claymore, and Polearm will be craftable once you get their blueprints. I think you're gonna need prototypes for these, so I hope you've been getting lucky, or they give us more ways to get them, because man, those things are way too rare. Now, we're actually getting 2 new artifact sets, which both look solid. The Blizzard Strayer set is the Cryo artifact set, boosting cryo damage with the 2-piece, and then boosting crit rate against enemies affected by cryo with the 4-piece. It grants even more crit against frozen enemies. Definitely want to try this one on my Chongyun. The Heart of Depth artifact set is for Hydro and grants Hydro damage with the 2-piece, and the 4-piece grants bonus normal and charge attack damage after using an elemental skill. For those of you with Child, this looks like a pretty spicy set to chase after. Next, we gotta look at some side events. The Hypostatic Symphony event will let you challenge beefed up hypostasis bosses, and you can get better rewards if you select higher difficulties and modifiers. The Lost Riches event is a much more relaxed treasure hunt of sorts, seems similar to the Glider challenge we got recently, except you'll be able to exchange the iron coins you find for mini sealy creatures that you actually follow you around. Seems like a little fun addition. Last, the Marvelous Merchandise event with Liben returns with a slightly different mechanic. You need to give Liben certain materials for some basic rewards, but every player has a different set of rewards. That means if you got some friends, you can see if they have something you would prefer, and you can exchange materials in their world session. I don't think this will be a big deal, but we'll see what happens. Last, let's talk about some sweet quality of life features in update 1.2. Lots of nice stuff here. First, we're getting autoplay for dialogue, which is something I wanted since first playing the game. This will let the dialogue flow by itself without you needing to hit a button, and any game with voice dialogue should have this feature. Next, you're going to be able to give your friends nicknames to keep track of who's who in the case some of them constantly change their names around. They are also adding an in-game chat system so you can message people and spam them with emotes. For those that like taking pictures, they are improving the photo taking system with some new poses and even adding expressions, and a new camera gadget that lets you take photos without opening the whole menu up. Very nice little update, and hopefully they keep adding more poses and stuff down the line. Next, for domains, they are making it so you automatically loot all the artifacts and you don't have to hit the loot button over and over. They're also adding a re-challenge feature, so you can just select that if you want to run the domain again without exiting to the overworld. Last, if you're ascending your characters, you can get some free Acquant Fates. You can get 3 Acquant Fates per character at Ascension ranks 1, 3, and 5, so that's the level 70 to 80 unlock. Not exactly a crazy amount of free summons, but hey, over time as you ascend more and more characters, you can hopefully get a lucky pull here and there. In addition to this system, you will be able to preview the materials needed for every Ascension tier, so you can figure out how much items you need to farm without opening up a wiki. Can't complain about that. That's going to be it for update 1.2 of Genshin Impact, coming in a little under 2 weeks. Let me know what changes or new characters you're excited about in the comments. To recap briefly, we're getting 2 new characters, Albedo and Ganyu, a brand new playable area, the Dragonspine Mountain. We have a new big event with a story tied in, and we're getting 4 new 4-star weapons, with 3 of them being craftable. There's going to be cryo and hydro artifact sets, some new side events, and then a slew of quality of life updates, including some free Acquant Fates, assuming you've been leveling up your characters. Lots of content on the way, and I'm looking forward to the release. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.